So, you are known as ROOKIE101 on live.warthunder. You're an active person on there. And by the way, welcome to Toshiothunder. So, could you tell me a few things about what do you do online?
Well, I edit a lot of screenshots. That's kind of what I like to do, usually in my free time.
Mhm.
It started years and years ago. I wanted golden eagles, but I didn't have any money. So I soon found out that there was a contest, and I realized I could edit other people's screenshots with their permission, uh, and post
Mhm.
them, because at the time I didn't have a computer that was good at all. Matter of fact, I mean, it was a little XPS, a little laptop that overheated and froze quite often. So I downloaded GIMP, which is a free editor, and I started editing screenshots. And over time, my brother gave me Photoshop, and then here we are. So, and everything that I know, I taught myself about Photoshop, it is, and you know, I just take screenshots of my free time and edit them. So that's what I do on live. In my personal life, well, I'm 15, of course, still in school.
You're 15? You sound like you're 25. I'm envious of your voice.
Well, I I can go higher, but when I'm right now, I don't want to be too loud because, of course, I've got brothers and sisters now, so I'm trying to keep it quiet. But yeah. Anyways, and of course, in school, currently struggling with math. I absolutely hate math.
Don't worry, you'll get through it.
What's weird is I like English. I like writing,
Mhm.
stuff like that, but when it comes to math, it's not cool.
I think most of the problem with math is how it's
Uh-huh.
taught. The concepts of math are pretty easy to grasp, but it's just so much of you staring at a piece of paper that's mostly
Right.
blank and needing to come up with symbols that represent simple ideas, but there's so much of
Well,
this
and that's what I'm
translation
struggling
issue,
with.
you know what I
Like,
mean?
currently, I'm doing a lot of solve for the unknown, and I hate that. You give
Hmm.
you give me a real problem that I can see, and it actually makes sense. You give me all the numbers, and I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hate it.
I know exactly what you mean. For me, math was pretty. It was one of those things that I caught on to pretty quick,
Uh-huh.
and so I was always the person like turning around and explaining it to the person behind me. You
Right.
know, because you're only given like the barest of an explanation, and then they're basically like, okay,
Hmm.
work it out, and the rest is just repetition until it's supposed to stick somehow. But that's not how everybody learns.
Right. And a lot of it, I think, has to do with how they show you how to apply it. They can try and
Hmm.
teach you something, but if you don't know how to apply it, you know, you're not gonna actually. It's not gonna make sense, and you're not gonna remember it. That's what I have a problem with, is remembering stuff.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, and that just it's like all education. I totally geek out about education because, like I said, I've been helping people learn things as soon as I started
Hmm.
learning things. So I've always been I've always been a tutor,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and uh, and now I teach a few things, and you really start to. There's a lot to be said for how you present things, and especially with math. If the teacher loses you, he's got to move on. He doesn't have time to explain it in your own
Right. Right.
particular way.
Well,
So,
actually, we're
yeah.
homeschooled, so
Oh,
yes.
you're
So
homeschooled. That's an
yes, it is.
advantage.
And I'm the let's see, there's 12 kids. There's 8 boys, 4 girls, and I'm
Hmm.
I think the fourth from the bottom. I have to think about it. And so if I needed something, I would always go to one of my older brothers and sisters, but most of them have moved out, and so it's kind of hard. The people who actually didn't
Hmm.
mind teaching are gone. So, but I don't know. Maybe I'll survive.
Yeah, that's the thing is when it comes to education, when when you're in this case, your family has you for homeschool, they want to cram as much as they
Right.
can
Right.
into your head. But let me give you advice from a college dropout, um, is that the most important thing to learn is just how to learn. And 90% of that is shutting up and paying
Right.
attention to what somebody's telling you.
Right.
So I'll shut up, and you can tell me what's let's see, everybody, let's talk about, if you're willing to, anything you're not comfortable with, by the way. Just let me know and we'll immediately
You're
move
cool.
on, because I'm going to edit this before I put it up, and so you can be like, hey, cut
Right.
that out,
Okay.
or I don't want to talk about that, any of that stuff, just but now that I mentioned that, Christmas time, do you have any family traditions, or is there some memory of the family all coming together at Christmas? Tell me a Christmas
Usually,
story.
we've been one of those people who never really did Christmas. Uh,
Hmm.
we would put up a tree every now and then. We wouldn't even really exchange gifts. I mean, there was just so many of us. We'd have people over,
Yeah.
for dinner or whatever. But it's only been in the recent years that my family, my brothers and sisters, have been moving out and getting married, and then now it's more like a typical Christmas where we actually have a gift exchange, and we go over and have parties and whatever. But as far as stories go, I don't really have any Christmas stories. Well, every year for Christmas, I should say, every year for Christmas, we my friends and I, we go to nursing homes and we actually sing for them. Uh, for the people in the nursing homes, we go to two large ones in a city near us, and that's kind of how we do Christmas, and then we celebrate it afterwards.
That sounds great. I wish I could go to a nursing home and care for aged people by sharing time with them, because that's
Right.
really, I mean, let's face it, people get
Mm-hmm.
lonely. But I also want to never leave my house. So I'm torn.
Hey, I know exactly what that's like. I think everyone does.
Okay, so you play War Thunder. Are there some other games that you're playing now,
Uh,
or maybe something that sort of defines your taste in video
I
games?
really I like first person shooters, but okay, again, the problem is my internet. My internet absolutely sucks. One day it will be my ping. My average ping is about 300, which is horrible. Uh, and
Yeah, that's bad.
and then some days it'll be 999 all day long. So I have to find games that I like that I can also either do in single player or just with that ping. Which War Thunder I found works pretty well with 300 ping. Uh, you can notice
Hmm.
a problem every now and then, but I like CODs and Battlefields, but I usually can't play them because of my my internet. So I like those, and then I play a game called Call to Arms, which is a real time strategy game, a modern real time strategy game
Hmm.
that can also do first person shooter, and that's pretty cool. I like a lot of modern warfare type stuff. Uh, for instance, like Iraqi War and stuff like that. I think a lot of people kind of skip over it.
You've mentioned on your live.warthunder that some members of your family have served. Are you interested in going into the armed services?
Uh, yes and no. I would absolutely love to, but I mean I've got a lot of stuff that I'd like to do. I'd like to buy some rental houses, rent them out, and then basically do what my dad did and be able to
Hmm.
not actually have to go to work, and then spend time with other people. I'd like to get married, and I really like to join the military, but I think I'm just gonna stay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And also, if you could speak up a
Oh,
bit,
sorry.
I think that'd be helpful. You're getting a little quiet. There we go.
Yeah.
So, speak up,
The
Sonny.
mic I'm using, I
I'll,
have to hold it, so I was slowly but surely letting it drop. Sorry.
oh, I see. I see. Well, what was I gonna say? Something along. Oh, right. So you're interested in getting into real estate endeavors, which is a great way to be productive and make some money,
Right.
and also have more control over your own
Hmm.
schedule. That's a solid plan. How do you feel about contracting work? Do you do any
Yeah.
construction?
So
Now would be a good time to pick up some
right. So
experience.
actually, we do a lot of it. So my dad has rental houses, and we do a lot of work on them every now and then. And plus, in
Hmm.
our community, like, well, for instance, like drywall, painting, reframing,
Hmm.
gutting it, and then remodeling it. That's pretty typical. And in our community, we help a lot of people build houses. uh, like our friends and stuff, and so I've done a lot of that, and I actually like it. Remodeling sucks. Framing like studs, that's a lot better because you start from with something new. You know what I mean?
Oh, I completely identify with that. I've done a little bit of work in construction, but I have back issues that sort of limit my ability to do that, but it's so much fun and it's rewarding to take something that either just was an empty lot
Right.
or
Right.
something that was a piece of junk and turn it into something useful. And it just takes a lot of
Mhm.
work, but it pays off.
Right. And we have a shop, a pretty large shop with a lot of tools in it. And so ever since I was really small, we always went out there in our free time and we would make stuff. For instance, like boats, birdhouses, a lot of stuff. And
Hmm.
that's what's really cool about it is because you can really just do kind of whatever you want, starting with nothing.
Yeah, once you have the tools, so many things become
Right.
possible. And work is the thing, right? You're definitely, I can tell from the way you talk about it that you're used to working with your hands, used to making things happen, because nothing's just going to spring
Right.
to life unless you put the effort into it. And the first when I heard you say that you were interested in buying and fixing up
Hmm.
houses and operating real estate, I thought, okay, that's a typical, like, it's a typical get rich the easy way
Hmm.
scheme. It's one of those, like, traps that people will pull you into. Hey, watch my seminar on how to buy and sell
Right.
houses, flipping homes, right? And they don't tell you that it's actually going to be a ton of
Right.
work.
Well,
Uh, but that's why I asked you about contracting. You know that it's work that pays off. My goodness, you do have a lot of subscribers. And on live.warthunder, that's even more meaningful than YouTube in general because it's a smaller
right.
community.
Right.
We've talked about some interesting things. I think that I've gotten more of an idea about who you are as a
Hmm.
person. You say you've done some projects with your
Yeah.
dad, right?
So again, we do
Yeah.
the real estate, and that's what used to take up a lot of our time. Now we don't really do that. In our free time, however, we restore things. So like I don't know, we
Mm-hmm.
got a Jeep, a 1942 Ford Jeep, and a Duck, which is an amphibious deuce and a half. Actually, we have two of those.
Not
Uh,
so it's not a Heinkel 219 or
no, no,
whatever it is.
it's spelled differently. It's spelled DUKW. It's some military term.
I I've seen the chieftain did a walk around
Oh,
on
okay.
one of those, I think.
Yeah. Well, when we first got it, it was owned by a duck touring company. Like they would give tours around the city, and they took horrible care with it. Like it was bad. So restoring that was an absolute nightmare, and we were still not done. Like we're ready to sell it. So, but it was fun. We've taken it on the river a couple times. You definitely get
Hmm.
the looks, but
I've heard those things are very loud. Is that one loud or does it have a different setup?
um, they're not loud. I mean, they literally sound just like a truck. Because it is
Hmm.
literally a truck. But ours has a different engine in it. They replaced the engine to make it more, I don't know, just to make it easier to work on, I guess.
You have a
Uh,
duck. What are some other projects you and your dad and your family are working on?
well, oh man, I got this is really big. So years ago, we got into reenacting. Like before we started restoring stuff, we got into Revolutionary
Hmm.
War reenacting, and then we did Civil War reenacting because there's a lot more local Civil War reenactments. I mean, we live in the middle of Tennessee, so uh, you know. And then we met a World War II veteran that was near us, and we started getting his story. And then we hosted a very small event with our friends at our house. Uh, this was
Hmm.
back in 2014, I think. Then we decided to take it into our town. We live in a very small town uh, in Tennessee, about an hour and a half west of Nashville. And from there, it's grown to be in the top 10 reenactments in the United States. So that's what really took up a lot of our time. We actually canceled 2019 and 2020. We'll be hosting it again in, I think, 2021. It was just so much work, hosting
Mm-hmm.
such a big event like that. But that's one of the projects. It was really an all year long project. Um, so we do that. We used to do that. That involved a lot of prop building, moving stuff, trailers, stuff like that. And then projects around the house,
Mm-hmm.
we just really do chores, dishes, floor.
You don't need to tell me about that, but
Well,
from speaking with you, it sounds like you're the kind of person that, and not to beat a dead horse here, but there's a few different kinds of
hmm
people, especially a few different kinds of men,
right,
right? And especially some guys, when you ask them, how was your day? How was your week? They'll start telling you about what they've been working
right,
on,
right.
right? So we'll call that a worker. You sound like a worker. So
Well,
you're going to
and
be,
I'll
I
be
can tell you're going to be a
honest,
very
I
productive person.
absolutely hate work. Like, I will do it. I will do it because I have to. I will do it, and that's kind of one of the things why I
Uh-huh.
want to do rental houses. It's because if I work my tail off right now, I will still have to work later, but I won't have to work as hard. So, and I've seen it work. I mean, both my older brothers, my second oldest brother's married. He's got 3 kids, and he has a bunch of rental houses, and they're all paid off. And I mean, he started with nothing, and he
Mm-hmm.
literally almost has $1 million worth of rental. And he got married 6 years ago. And he worked
Mm-hmm.
super hard. And now, I don't know, probably 25, and he can do whatever he wants. And what he likes to do is work for the sheriff's department. He's a deputy, and so that's kind of what he does in his free time now. So I've seen it work, and my dad did it, and that's why we can have, the scout car and duck and stuff like that is because
So you're saying that you don't like work. You'd rather get it done so you can have fun. But then you start talking about things like your brother's relaxation is to work a full-time job.
well, that's
I
that's
love
just
it.
what he likes to
I love
do.
it.
I
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. I don't think. Maybe if I got bored, I don't know.
You would get
I probably
bored.
would.
Yep, my best friend is actually like that. He works really really intensely when he's at his job so that he can make things
hmm
happen and get it done. And then when he comes home to relax, he plays hard. So, yeah, and he ended up working at a restaurant for years, and now he owns the
Whoa.
restaurant. And he's carried it on to the next generation with that same hardworking
hmm
attitude.
Well,
So,
and
yeah, you'll
hardworking is not always like the best thing. If you're hardworking but not, I guess, smart to see what needs to happen next, you're not really going to get anywhere because there's
yeah.
different types of people in this world. There are people who are fine with working hard, but they're always the people who you're going to hire. You know what I mean? Uh, they're
Mhm.
not going to own the business. So it takes a lot of working hard and, I guess, a vision, like to know what you want to do and where you want to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There was a saying that I'm going to butcher by Napoleon, and he said something along the lines of there's there's four types of officers. He says there's stupid and lazy ones who are fit for the
Uh-huh.
infantry. There are clever and lazy ones who are fit for command. There are industrious and clever who are fit for, oh, I can't even remember, but carry on. It's really the last one that's important because these are the industrious, stupid officers, and they're fit for
Right,
nothing.
right.
so, so yeah, you're uh, not a new concept. All right, well, that's been a nice little talk. I've got plenty of material to share with people. I feel like we've given folks a better idea of who you are and what you do, and you're only 15. You got a lot of life ahead of you,
Right.
presumably. But it sounds like you're going to continue to make an impact on the War Thunder community, and you're definitely carving out a place with your projects and passions in your local area as well.
Yep.
Anything else you wanted to add to this before we wrap it up?
I believe that's it. I mean, not unless you have anything else you want to talk about.
Well, I will be sure to mention once again that you have a presence on live.warthunder. I'm looking at your account right now. If you want to find ROOKIE101, he shows up on the Discord. You also have a Discord server, don't you?
Yep.
All right, so I'll be sure to mention that. You can message ROOKIE101 on Discord to find him. Also, what's another way people can get in touch with you if they wanted to join your Discord? Or obviously they can see to type in warthunder.com/user/101 rookie101 to find you. But is there a place that you post like an invitation to your Discord?
Well, I guess you could, if you're interested, you could send me a PM via the forums. I check the forums pretty regularly, and then from there I can give you the link to the Discord or even my email if you're interested. So
there you go. And ROOKIE101, it's kind of a weird thing to call you. I'll call you. How about Rook, right? Because then people won't assume that I'm calling you a rookie. That could be considered derogatory.
If that's what you're cool with.
It's whatever. All right, Rook. Let's see. Now that I've gotten to that point, I forgot why. I just realized that this picture you put up, how I imagine the Bradley will be stock. You just photoshopped the cannon out of it.
Not only the cannon,
it's on fire. I love it.
The cannon, both of the tow missiles are gone.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Yeah, okay. So, I was going to mention that if you're interested in doing some artistic project with regard to War Thunder, ROOKIE101 looks to be someone who would be really useful to bring into that project. So I'm putting you out there, bud.
Thank you.
All right. So thanks for spending the time with me. It'll be a little bit of time editing this, and then I'll launch it into the wild to see what happens.
Well, hey, thank you for
inviting. And you just have a... Yeah. Oh, and congratulations, by the way, on, what is it, 500 subs on live.warthunder.
Yeah, I made that poster like a month ago, and the subscribers kind of came slow. That's actually...
Well, you've made it.
All right. Well, thank you again.
All right, thanks for your time, bud.
Talk later.
Catch you later. Bye-bye.